drama, drama, drama. Hello. So, you want to know about the word drama? Well, let's start with the basics. Drama is a noun, which means it refers to a person, place, thing, or idea. In common usage, people often use drama to describe a situation that is emotionally charged, intense, or attention-grabbing, usually in a way that involves conflict or tension between people. For example, you might say, "I don't want to get involved in all the drama with my siblings." This usage implies that there's some kind of emotional upheaval going on, and you're trying to stay out of it. Some special notes about using drama: be careful not to confuse it with its verb form, which is dramatize, meaning to act out or create a fictional story. Also, keep in mind that the word drama can also refer to the actual performance or entertainment itself, like a play or TV show. So, when using drama in conversation, try to use it in contexts where you're talking about intense emotions or conflicts, and don't be afraid to ask for clarification if someone uses it in a way that's not immediately clear. In a formal setting, such as a literary critique, you might say, "The playwright's masterful use of drama created a sense of tension that kept the audience on the edge of their seats throughout the performance." Here, the word drama refers to the play itself and is used to emphasize the effective storytelling. In a casual conversation with friends about the latest soap opera, you might say, "I'm so over this season's drama. Can't they just have some nice guys for once?" Here, the word drama refers to the over-the-top conflicts and plot twists typical of melodramatic TV shows. In a business context discussing employee interactions, you might say, "The team lead has been trying to mediate the drama between John and Emily, but it's clear they need some individual coaching to resolve their issues." So you want to know about that thing that happens when there's a lot of tension and conflict between people in a movie, TV show, or even real life? Okay, it's basically when someone gets into trouble because of something they did or didn't do, and it causes problems for themselves and others around them. In stories, this can be really interesting to watch because it shows how characters make mistakes and try to fix them, often with unexpected consequences. We also call things like this conflicts or plot twists. But when we talk about the kind that happens in our daily lives, people might use words like scandal or controversy. In general, this type of thing is used to make a story more exciting or to show how real-life situations can be complicated and difficult to deal with. Eventual, eventual, eventual. So, let's talk about the word eventual. As a language teacher, I'd be happy to break it down for you. The part of speech for eventual is an adjective, which means it describes or modifies a noun. In common usage, eventual is used to describe something that happens or comes true after a certain period of time has passed. For example, if someone says, "She's been looking for a job, and eventual she got one," it means she found a job eventually, after some time had gone by. What's interesting about eventual is that it implies a sense of inevitability or certainty, like something was bound to happen sooner or later. So, be careful when using this word, as it can sometimes give the impression that you're being too casual or even sarcastic. For instance, saying, "I'll eventually finish my homework," might sound like you're not taking responsibility seriously. The word eventual is often used to describe a future outcome or consequence that is likely or expected to occur at some point in time. A formal usage example would be, it is eventual that our company will expand its operations to other countries as we continue to grow and develop. In this context, the speaker is discussing a future business strategy with colleagues or investors. On the other hand, a casual conversation usage might sound like, I'm not sure what I'll do in 10 years. But eventually, I'll have to think about retirement plans. Here, someone is chatting with a friend about their personal life and goals for the future. A business or academic usage example could be, research has shown that eventual climate change will have devastating effects on global ecosystems, emphasizing the need for sustainable practices. In this scenario, the speaker is presenting data and findings in an academic or professional setting. So you're trying to grasp what eventual means. Don't worry, I'm here to help. Essentially, when we say something is eventual, we mean that it will happen at some point in time, but maybe not right now. The main characteristic of this word is that it's about a future outcome or result that might take some time to come into play. It's kind of like saying, sometime, or, at some point. It gives us an idea that something will eventually happen, even if we can't predict exactly when. Think of synonyms like, finally, ultimately, or ultimately, which all convey the same general idea. When people use this word, they're usually talking about a future situation where something is going to change or happen in a certain way. It's not just about what's happening now, but more about what's on the horizon. Exhibit. 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 Let's take a closer look at the word exhibit. As a verb, to exhibit means to show or display something, such as an object, a skill, or a feeling. In common usage, people often use this word in the context of museums, art galleries, and exhibitions, where they might say, the museum is exhibiting a new collection of modern art, or, she will exhibit her paintings at the local art fair. But it's not limited to these situations. You can also exhibit emotions like happiness, excitement, or even anger. It's worth noting that the word exhibit can sometimes be confused with exposé, which means to show something that might be considered embarrassing or unflattering. For example, a tabloid headline might read, "The celebrity was exposed for their scandalous behavior," whereas an art student might exhibit their finished painting at the school exhibition. So, make sure you're using the right word in the right context, and don't worry if it takes some practice to get the hang of it. In a museum setting, I'd recommend saying to someone in line, "Let's go see if we can squeeze in some time to exhibit at that new 19th century art show, I heard. It's going to be fantastic." This is an example of casual conversation usage, where you're casually discussing plans with a friend. On the other hand, in a more formal context, such as writing a grant proposal for a science museum, you might say, the exhibit on climate change will feature a series of interactive displays and multimedia presentations designed to educate visitors about the impact of human activity on the environment. This is an example of formal usage, where the language is polished and professional. In a business or academic setting, such as writing a research paper on cultural trends, you might say, the rise of social media has provided new opportunities for artists to exhibit their work directly to a global audience, thereby challenging traditional notions of what constitutes high art. So, you're trying to learn a new word? Okay, let me explain what I have in mind. Imagine a place where things are gathered and shown to the public, like a museum or a fair. It's usually a special space that is dedicated to displaying objects, artworks, or even performances that people want to share with others. The main idea behind it is to educate, entertain, or even persuade people by showing them something that might be interesting, informative, or thought-provoking. Similar concepts would include words like show, display, presentation, or even performance. They all kind of convey the idea of presenting something to others in a way that's engaging and maybe even impressive. And when we talk about this concept, we're usually thinking about how it's used to communicate ideas, tell stories, or showcase talents, often with the goal of inspiring or educating people in some way.